So I'm going to read you a scenario, Megan,
Mm-hmm.
and together we are going to determine if there is a hero in the story, if there's an asshole in the story, or if there's somebody who's an asshole but they did it for reasons that we can understand. Okay, so this is from Reddit. There's been a handful of COVID-19 cases in my area, and there seems to be very little government effort to slow down the spread. I've been encouraging my kids to wash their hands frequently, but my 5-year-old daughter isn't washing her hands enough. I came up with the idea to throw out one of her dolls and tell her it died of the coronavirus. She's pretty upset, and my wife said it was a stupid thing to do. I just want to limit the chances of us all catching the disease, especially since I work in a care home. Okay, so is anybody in this scenario kind of an asshole?
I mean, I think the daughter's kind of an asshole.
The 5-year-old?
No, she's a child. So I guess the good thing is he didn't like take the doll away and then is going to be like, look, she's alive again. I think that would be almost more confusing because then this young child thinks people rise from the dead. But she does have to wash her hands. I'm sure that there were other ways to get that done, but maybe he felt like he did all of those and she still wasn't getting it. I mean, we live in a time of Elf on the Shelf, and every single parent I know is like blackmailing their children with Elf on the Shelf. True, like it's like the elf will come and murder you in your sleep unless you help your brother set the table. That I think kids, this is like almost how they're being reached right now. We have to use props and threaten them.
Yeah, convince kids that you know more than you actually do.
Yeah.
I actually think, look, maybe this is me telling on myself and my parents and the way that I was raised, but I think it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I think that, like, if your kid will not internalize you telling them, like, you have to wash your hands, you have to do this, it's a toy. Ostensibly, the dad bought the kid the toy.
Mm-hmm.
That is within his rights to take the toy away. Now, here's my only problem is he should have discussed it with his wife first, because in this sort of scenario where something is being taken from a child or a child is being subjected to something that maybe will make them cry, I think both parents need to be a united front going in, because otherwise everything could just be chaos.
Yeah.
So I think overall, not only is this a non-asshole thing to do, but it's like pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, especially once he said he worked at a care facility, I'm like, I think this is like a good person. I just hope he picked the ugliest, worst doll, like her least favorite doll. I do think it's probably reassuring as a parent that the child is sad. You know, like think if you told your kid that your doll died and they were like, okay, like that would actually be more upsetting to me. I'd be like,
Right.
You don't wash your hands and you have no empathy for anyone.
Oh my God, that sounds like a inciting incident for a horror movie about a psychotic
Yes.
child that is stuck in a house with their family during a pandemic.
Ooh, I bet there's a lot of people with creepy kids that are like, oh shit, they're gonna kill us during this.
They had no idea. You never know how creepy somebody is until you have to spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of creepy kids.
Yeah.
for
But
sure.
I also want to know, like, did this work? Like, if the means justify the ends, and we seem like we're pretty good with this, but if she's still not washing her hands, then you failed.
Did you ever have your parents do something like this?
Well, in kindergarten, my mom is a nurse and a teacher, and she came into my kindergarten class, and we all washed our hands, and then she put our hands underneath a black light, and we were like, whoa, cool, gross. And then we went and washed our hands again to try and get as much of it off as we could, and that memory has obviously stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was how my mom approached teaching not only myself, but then my class of also disgusting idiots how to wash their hands.
Do you think parents should just buy black lights instead of killing their kids' dolls, though?
I do think, isn't there like toothpaste now that if you don't get it, it like makes your mouth a certain color? Like I do think there's things with kids where there's ways to teach them that is not throwing out a toy.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think children have too many toys, so.
Yeah. I mean, so you think that the dad should have thrown the toy away, not just put the toy away and then like 6 months later brought the toy back?
No, because then she thinks people rise from the dead.
Well, I mean, Christianity.
Well, I think Christianity is going to be terrifying for her.
Okay, so let's use these props to arrange in this story who the asshole is.
Okay, so we've got hero.
ABR, which stands for asshole but relatable.
Okay.
And then we have TFG, which stands for this fucking guy.
Okay. I think the hero is the mom just because she didn't do anything. So now she gets to say you did the wrong thing. That's my favorite thing to do is to provide no solutions but criticize what people have done.
Okay.
So I say that with love towards her. I think the dad is sort of like on the cusp because it is important that his daughter wash her hands. But maybe he didn't go about it the right way, but his heart is in the right place. And I think his daughter is just like right next to him. So I really don't think there's anyone that's a true monster in this.
Okay. So I would put the mother in the low-level asshole but relatable category. Okay. I put her there. I would put the dad in the hero category because I think telling your kid one of her dolls died is really funny. And especially because the daughter did something to deserve it. If she had not done anything to deserve it, it would not be funny. But I think that that is an effective way to teach a lesson about life and death without actually, it's not like he took her pet away. No. He took a doll away. I think that she is next to her mom in the asshole but relatable because she's a kid. And kids can be real jerks, but I would never say like, oh, this fucking guy about a kid.
I mean, I think we both like this family, though.
I think it's a good family.
Angry. This isn't a family who's like annoying you at the gate at the airport. This is like a family that's trying to do the right thing. And in that process, there's some people that died.
Yeah. And I also think that the dad sounds like a nice person. He works at a care home and he cares about the people that are there. It takes a really special person to do that kind of work. So I think he's nice.
How embarrassing too. Like we wash our hands, we're very hygienic people, to be like, oh yeah, I was a disgusting child. My parents told me you had to eat a pound of dirt before you die. And I truly was like, we got to get that pound of dirt in.
Wait, were you really?
Yeah, I was I had 2 older brothers. I was definitely girly and I had bows and things, but there's like so many pictures of me playing in like gross things with dresses on.
Oh yeah, that was my MO too as a kid. I was gross. I was really gross. But when I was a kid, we didn't have anything like this.
No. And it probably helped your immune system in the long run. And I mean, this little girl is fine, but he's trying to instill in her, like, you have to be unselfish and wash your hands really, really well because there's people that I love at work who could get sick.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that we're talking about it like this, I think that he's trying to instill in her something that's really important for her not being an asshole as an adult.
Yes.
Because this weekend you saw a lot of people like, you know, still in New York City going out to bars and restaurants. You saw people kind of not really paying attention. You hear about people's parents who are like, I'm still going to visit my grandkids. It's like,
don't.
You can't do that. And part of it is you have to understand the way that your actions affect other people. And sometimes we live in a place where we don't really feel like that. We don't really have to face the consequences of our actions all the time. And I think it's good that the dad is teaching his daughter to understand that what she does impacts other people. So I think because his dad did a thing that is arguably could be construed as somewhat assholey, he's preventing extreme this fucking guy behavior from his daughter. Yeah. Hopefully.
He's trying to not raise an asshole.
Exactly. And sometimes that requires being a little bit of an asshole. Right?
I just think the mom looks really cool.
Oh, the mom's awesome. That's by far my favorite Who's the Asshole prop.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to sign it to somebody every single week, but this week it's the mom. She does seem fine.
And when you just imagine like this dinosaur yelling at this little squeezy toy, like, how could you do this to our daughter? Like, it's a really fun visual.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I knocked over my kid. That's going to be me as a mom. I'm going to have like a point to make, but then I'm going to knock over my child and just scream at my husband.
Well, then we'll do a chart for you, Megan.
Thank you.